oh, I thought that I was going to be like Jeff Bozo, and I was nothing of the sort.
That is his given name.
Yeah, it is. I was just Bozo, straight up.
Welcome to Before We Cheers. I'm Zach Miller, and today I'm sitting down with Dylan DiGi, one of the more genuinely surprising people I've met in New York lately. They transferred into Yale as a junior and made it into the Whiffenpoofs with a solo on an Ariana Grande cover, did a tour at McKinsey, and walked away in early 2023. Now they're back in Brooklyn, running one of the sharpest fashion comedy accounts on the internet by night. We met at a private dinner a few months back. Dylan, welcome to Before We Cheers.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about myself. And
Perfect.
I can't wait to do that for the next hour.
I wanted to address something earlier because when I had written the intro prior and we just talked, we said that you were substitute teaching by day. You're not doing that anymore.
No, as of yesterday, I am no longer substitute teaching, which is sad. And I think I'm going to throw in the towel on that permanently. I've decided that I'm just too famous. I'm too famous and the kids can't get enough. And I don't want to have to let another principal down, because the principal's always like, everyone always really likes me. And like, you know, I present them my like Yale McKinsey resume and they're like, oh my God, this is great. Like, and you're from New York, like you'll be able to connect with the kids. And then like one of my reels where I'm talking about getting my hole filled comes up and then that just spreads like fucking wildfire.
Got it.
Yeah.
That actually answers one of my questions, because it occurred to me like someone on social one of these kids would recognize you at some point.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to talk about what happened? Was there like a specific like kid or group of kids, or was it raised to the principal by a parent or something? So
I was working most recently at a high school. That one was like much quicker, like straight up yesterday in the morning, first period, I didn't have a class. So I was like chilling in the break room. And I opened my phone and I noticed that one of the kids whose name I remember from taking attendance had followed me on Instagram. And I was like, oh God. And I kid
bastard.
you not.
No, I'm kidding.
Really nice kid too. I was like, and it's always like the kids that follow you, it's like, they're the ones who are like, oh, this guy's really fucking cool. But I'm like, yo, like you gotta chill. Like you're blowing up my spot.
One thing that I feel like kids don't do is chill.
Yeah.
Well, and what year are we talking? Like what grades?
I think this was like 11th grade.
This is high school.
Yeah, this is high school now.
Okay, what subjects were you substitute teaching?
I was mostly in the art room.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of cool. And so it was like a couple of the art class kids that I think I probably started to get to know the most. And then after I saw that notification, I went to TikTok, and one of them that I recognized had like commented on one of my videos, and I was like, it's getting too close for comfort. Obviously, I blocked them, and also they shouldn't be looking at my social media anyway, because I have 18 plus restrictions on there. But obviously, like, I mean, when I was in high school, I was saying that I was 25. Yeah, that was how I got the boot at the high school. It was honestly really quick, because in the morning I saw that, and then at the end of the day, after I finished my last period, the principal came in and was like, hey, like I really hate to do this, and then gave me, you know, we had the whole talk. But at the middle school is honestly like a little bit more funny, because it was like the middle school that I went to growing up. And so the way that one worked.
Oh, so they really knew you.
Yeah. I mean, obviously like the kids are new.
Yeah.
And so like
the staff and teachers. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like there were some teachers who had taught me. And so the kids would come in and I would tell them to call me Mr. F, because F is the first letter of my real last name. And they needed to know what my real name was. They wanted to know everything about me. I guess also because I'm like much younger than most teachers. That was more of like a slow build. Like I would be on lunchroom duty, and I kid you not, 2 girls came up to me and were like, Mr. F, like, are you a Vogue model? Like, how's my runway walk? And I was like, first of all, we're not doing runway walks in Uggs. Take that shit off. I was like, I'm not judging a runway walk. You can't serve.
I think that's the social clip right there. We're not doing runway walks in Uggs, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the middle school, honestly, like middle school was way more fun and kind of funny to be let go from. But then, yeah, I wound up kind of being let go in the same way. They were like, yeah, like it could kind of become an issue with the parents. And I think they were like talking about me in parent WeChat and Facebook groups. I don't even know what WeChat is. Anyway, I'm like, all right, let me wrap my shit up and fucking go. I was like, I don't care what platform y'all are talking on. I'm getting the boot.
Well, listen, onward and upward. I'm 100%. Glad like you're here regardless, because it feels like now you can focus on the stuff that you've really been wanting to do and meant to do. There's no shame in having a gig that's supplementing your income, that's getting you through like what feels like your dream anyway. But yeah. I want to talk about about that because it's really exciting. You and I met at a dinner party a few months ago. Where in Brooklyn did you grow up? And, what's still the same about that neighborhood? It was changed.
I grew up in Williamsburg, which a lot of people will call it East Williamsburg. First of all, that's not a real neighborhood. Second of all,
real estate made it up.
Yeah, it's like industry. Sugar Hill. I'm like, what are we talking about? Yeah. It's Harlem. it's when I hear people say Sugar Hill, I genuinely I have secondhand embarrassment. Not as bad as with East Williamsburg. Yeah. But anyway, even if East Williamsburg was a real neighborhood, I would still live in Williamsburg proper. I'm by Kellogg's Diner.
Love Kellogg's.
And oh my God, what's the same? What's the same is Kellogg's is still there.
Yeah, it is. The menu might have changed a little bit.
The menu changed and they cleaned the fucking bathrooms finally. Oh my God. I used to go to Kellogg's. I'll never forget, my ex-boyfriend used to love the breakfast there. The sausages, to me, I was like, it's giving mince pie a la Sweeney Todd. I was like, there's people in the sausage. I can eat there now that they did the rebranding and it looks kind of cute, but yeah, so we still got Kellogg's. You still have some of the old timey, there's the Giglio Boys Club right by the Larmer train station. They still do the big Italian festival during the summer in July. And my dad and brother are really involved in that. They carry a statue. They model it off of something that they do in Nola, Italy. And they build this whole statue, and my dad and brother help build the statue, and they lift the statue and they plan all the events and shit. And so they're very involved in a very neighborhoody way, but it's interesting because you still have that the underpinnings of the old neighborhood, but then layered on top of it is me and my twink ass friends running from Animal to Exley to Metropolitan and passing my parents on while they're at Bamonte's restaurant, and I'm I can't be seen in this hoochie outfit. I'm gonna get shot at, or my parents are gonna get judged or killed or worse. They're not embarrassed of me, but they definitely are they're this fucking kid. They definitely, they love to say that I'm really putting them through it. In the sense that I think I represent a little bit of old Williamsburg and a little bit of new, and they're just they're just conservative and regular, and I get that.
I have to be honest, a lot of people come up to me and say, you don't have a New York accent. But when I first met you and you opened your mouth, I was like, this bitch has a Brooklyn accent. This is a real New York accent. I just don't hear that very much anymore. So it warms my heart coming from, growing up around here to hear that, I have to say.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a rarity. And I feel like these days you only hear it out of some 55-year-old man with a cigar and a glass of whiskey.
Someone who was alive when Taxi Driver came out.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly. And now it's very fun to, especially given the way that I dress and present, it's very fun to meet someone for the first time and immediately just destroy whatever thought they had about what I was going to sound like is just completely out the window, and they're like, oh, so I feel like it's like a party trick.
Totally.
I actually quite like it.
When I met you, I was like, oh, you're horse of a different color, and you clearly walk to the beat of your own drum. So I was very interested in hearing more about you and your life when I met you. So I love that. I appreciate that.
And I think when we did meet, I think that the first thing that you said was something shady. I don't remember what it was.
Was it?
But I was like, oh, this guy's got balls. I was like, I like that. I was like, who the fuck are you? You're like, I don't know. I don't know what you said. I don't know if you said something about social media. I don't know if you made a quip about, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. You don't really even remember that. You were across the table.
Yes. Yeah. It was a 25-person table. My friend Brian, he started an LGBT membership club called Sector. And it was a 25-person table. So but it was a lot of gays just talking. So naturally you can't hear everything.
Yeah. So you got to bounce around a little bit.
Oh my God. I didn't mean to be shady.
No, that's okay. I was like, oh, okay. That could be a sister.
Well, I appreciate that. Your TikTok bio reads Big playing in Carrie's closet, Mr. Big from Sex and the City playing in Carrie's wardrobe. Was that a nod to your corporate past at McKinsey, specifically the Mr. Big part?
Oh, interesting. No, I actually hadn't even thought of that. The Mr. Big part was more about the me when I take off the dress and the cunty heels and it's just like kind of a man body.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a great man body. I fucking work really hard on it. And like the low voice. And so I think that there's this like lovely contrast between like I'm wearing the carry wig and I have the capris on, but it's like, it's not quite what it seems. And so I was just kind of playing on like the gender of it all.
Yeah.
But no, that's actually really interesting that I guess that
maybe
now I'm gonna say that.
subversively. Yeah.
No, 100%. I'm like, I do have a little bit of this like fuck ass corporate past.
You do.
And like, but I want to be like a fashion girly running around New York with a cigarette and a fucking Cosmo and like, just living life. And I think that I do that now, which is cool.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. Okay. I want to talk about McKinsey for a second. So you had transferred to Yale as a junior and you graduated. For anyone who doesn't know this, McKinsey is probably the leading global management consulting firm that's basically like the boot camp for corporate America. It's notoriously secretive and notoriously exclusive.
Yes.
Can you walk me through the interview process for getting into McKinsey? Like how many rounds and what they were testing, what that was like?
Yeah, 100%. So at Yale, it was very organized. Like they would come to campus every year and do their recruiting events, and there would be queer events and like different affinity group events and stuff. And so that's kind of like your segue in. And then when you finally apply and you get offered an interview, I think the first round of interviewing was 2 separate cases. So you have like one interview with one person, you do a case. And in addition to the case, they also ask you what they call like a PEI or a PI question, some like personal bullshit. And usually the question is something like, tell us about a time where you dealt with conflict on a team and how you helped yield a resolution. Or tell us about a time where you felt really strongly about something and like brought that idea to fruition, things like that. And so you would do one case with like the math and the business and whatever, and then they would make you do a personal. And so there were like 2 of them back to back. And so if you passed that round, then you got to the final round, which was that, but 3 of them. So it was like case, personal question, case, personal question, case, and it was just like it was hours. I don't even know how long I was in the office.
What can you define like what a case means like when you're interviewing for a big consulting firm?
Yes. I remember, for example, like one of the first ones that I did in the first round was actually about like cosmetic injectables. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking ace it. Like, this is so
I'm an expert.
Like
we're talking about a case study of like a business problem that you have to solve.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so they'll be like, okay, our client is a injectable filler manufacturer, let's say, and they're looking into expanding their product range because they want to they feel like their revenues are flat right now and they want to see what the upside can be. And can you help us size a market for that? What kind of people would be using that? And if it's really worth it for them to actually expand into a different market, or should they just like keep doing what they're doing? And I think I was like, yeah, fuck it. I was like, let's do Botox, let's do injectables, like fill the girls up. I was like, look, we can do implants, we can do BBLs.
Yeah.
Like for real. It was actually like kind of a fun interview in that way. But yeah, some of them were more mathy. Like I remember in the second round, there was one where like, it was some weird math shit. They were selling bottles of milk, I swear to God. And I was like, I was just lost. I was like, I don't give a fuck about bottles of milk. I'm not, I'm good at math, but I just like couldn't in the moment. And I actually like really royally fucked it up. And I had this interviewer who was very like, sort of like Eastern European. And he explained it to me because he was like, okay, you're taking too long. And so he explains it. And then at the end,
when
I'm like,
an Eastern European tells you you're taking too long, you stop.
I shit my pants and I shut the fuck up. And so then I was like, oh, like he explained it to me and I was like, oh, okay, like that makes sense because I can see how I was. And he was like, well, yes, of course it makes sense. I have the answer key right here. Yes. And I was like, And that actually like that was a little test. Like they do test you a little bit, I believe, on like, is this person gonna like freak out right now, or are they just gonna like be chill? And I was just like, la la la. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, I think that's a little fucking rude, but I didn't say that,
right?
Because I have tact.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was just like, okay.
Was the track then to eventually go to grad school or business school? Like
for me?
Yes.
No, I don't. I think honestly, by the time I got the McKinsey job, because I got it in October of my senior year.
Yeah.
So because recruiting happens immediately when you get back to campus in August. So I had the job in October. By the time I graduated in the middle of COVID, I was like, what am I doing? I don't want this job, but I have all this debt. Like, I don't want to go to grad school. I don't want to do fucking anything. I was like, I want to do like, I don't know. I want to sit in bed and rot. And but I couldn't do that because somebody's got to pay the bills. Right. But no, I don't think I ever really planned to go to grad school. I think that there was like a part of me that thought that maybe one day I would get my MBA. I really thought that I wanted to work in business, but I think that was just like when you're growing up as like the gay creative kid who's also really type A. It's like I feel like you're gay, so like you get it. You compensate with like academic achievements, and everyone in my family is like, oh, like Dylan's gonna be the meal ticket. My mom used to call me that. She's like, he's our meal ticket. We're gonna have a house in the Hamptons. And so little by little, you start to internalize
Never too late,
all that.
By the way.
No, I know. I don't know that I would get a house in the Hamptons. Maybe in Fire Island. And I would love to see my mom partying in the Pines.
I'm sure.
That would be
or Cherry Grove.
Oh my god. I just got into this weird space where I was like, yeah, like I'm meant to like do this. Like I got into Yale, so I should work in management consulting, and I should be a skeezy, and I want to be like, end up being, someone who makes money and has too much money and probably exploits other people's labor. But then the more you get into it, you're at me. Like, I don't think that I realized that at that point, but looking back on it now, I was like, oh, I thought that I was going to be like Jeff Bozo, and I was nothing of the sort.
That is his given name.
Yeah, it is. I was just Bozo. Straight up. Like the more time I spent at McKinsey, the more I was like, oh, this is fucked. Like we're not really doing much. We're saying a lot of things and we're working a lot, but like we're not doing anything that's impactful or that I give a flying fuck about.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here for the next 10 minutes, let alone the rest of my life.
10 years, yeah.
So yeah.
Do you remember the famous solution they came up with the garbage cans of how to like get rid of all the rats in the city? And there was some PowerPoint.
Give it to me again, because I do vaguely remember.
Essentially, they were basically tasked with getting rid of all the rats like in the city or cleaning it up and like or dealing with the garbage basically.
Yeah.
And this is like, how are we going to do that? How are we going to like make this happen? And the solution that they came up with was like, just put lids on the trash cans, how to get rid of all the garbage of the rats. And you're like, and then you wonder like, maybe that is the best solution, but part of you is like, is it really the best solution? And you're supposed to be the best minds in the world, like on this. Like, Is that really what it is?
And that's the thing. It's like the people who work at McKinsey, they are experts at nothing but making money for corporations. Companies pay McKinsey to offload their bad decisions, I believe. Like if a company has to fire people, it doesn't look good when Google is like, oh, like Google announced they're firing people. So they hire McKinsey to run some analysis and figure out how to shave some heads off. Mm-hmm. And then it's McKinsey's fault. It's like a cover-up agency. It's like, it's bullshit. It's weird because then I got to a point where I was like, oh, like I don't even like being here. And now people are judging me because I work at McKinsey, and I'm like, yeah, like, should I have known better? Sure. But also when you throw a kid into an Ivy League school who has only ever, like, I didn't know my parents didn't go to college. Like, so I don't know anything about anything. My parents had never heard of consulting. So you throw me in there and all I know is I have debt that I need to pay off.
Right.
So I'm hounding to, that's really like my North Star.
Yeah.
And so the second that debt was paid off, I was just like, oh God. I was like,
oh, so you did pay off your debt from it.
Mm-hmm. In the 2 years that I was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God. And it was like
in 2 years.
2 years. It was $106,000, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. I lived at home and literally every paycheck I would just Zelle my mom. I would just I was like, pay off the loan. Cause she had taken out the loan for me. And I was like, I need this thing to be gone so I can like move on with my life.
That's very responsible.
Thank you. Well, because it's like if you're irresponsible, then that debt will
gonna
haunt
get
you
worse
forever. And then it weighs on you. And like, I have too much anxiety in my head to be, the Zoloft has got me together. But like, even with the Zoloft, like if I had debt, I would be a disaster. Like I can't have that.
I know.
It's too much.
So you left in early 2023. Was there one specific thing that prompted the decision, or just everything we've talked about that's negative about it that just built up over time?
I mean, all of those things, yes, and it was all of the things that built up over time. And also, I didn't leave on my own volition. I was like put on a PIP. They don't call it that at McKinsey, but it's a performance improvement plan. And so I think it was like November. They were like, hey, just a heads up, this review cycle, you're getting a 2 out of 5, whatever. And we're going to put you on this PIP and we'll catch up with you after a quarter. So they give you 3 months. And when they told me that in November, I was like, this sounds great to me because my debt should be paid off by mid-January and y'all are trying to give me the boot mid-February. So I was like, let's fucking go. I did the absolute bare minimum. I gave absolute nooch. I'm like, I'm out of here, and you can't give me the boot until February. So now you're stuck with me, and I'm stuck with you. So let's just like make this as easy as possible. I was hounding at McKinsey. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a fucking workhorse, and I can work when I have to. But like when I was that close to paying off the debt, and they were putting me on the, I was like, I was elated. I was like, this is great. I can just chill here for the next 3 months. And that's exactly what I did. They let me go, and literally on the firing call, I remember they were really sweet. They really were. And they were like, we're really sorry. Like, we know this can be a lot. And I'm like, no, like the only regret that I could have would be staying here. I'm like, I need to go. Y'all need to let me go. You don't have to feel sorry. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm like, feel excited that I can finally break free from this chapter and get back to honoring what I've always wanted to do, which is be an entertainer.
I love that you call yourself an entertainer, because you are. And it sounds like it started, or it might have started before this, in Yale. I touched on it before. You joined their all-senior a cappella group, apparently the oldest at Yale, called the Whiffenpoofs. What prompted you to join that while you were there? And like, were you singing for a while before that? Was that like...
Yeah, I went to a performing arts high school in Manhattan. I think we maybe talked about that. So like, I went to LaGuardia and I sang a lot. And then... first 2 years of college, I went to City College. I did a cappella there. And that was kind of like my way of like keeping singing in my life, because I didn't want to do like choir and like opera anymore. But that was just like a fun way. And thank God I did that, because it's fucking impossible to make friends in CUNY if you're not like in a club. So like those were the only friends that I still have were from a cappella. I went to Yale. I joined another a cappella group. Then I auditioned for the Whiffenpoofs. I joined that group. But yeah, I sang a fuck ton. I've always been singing, but these days I don't sing so much. I mostly just yap.
What prompted you to join Whiffenpoofs specifically? Is it just like the creme de la creme of a cappella groups over there? I mean,
I guess yes. It's not particularly like sonically
like Skull and Bones of a cappella groups, I mean.
It is, yeah, prestigious in that.
Yes.
Yeah. But not like actually like musically the best.
Yeah.
But really the reason why I did the Whiffenpoofs wasn't just because of the prestige. It was mainly because you get to take a year off and you get to travel. And so what you do is you audition during your junior year. So I get there junior year, halfway through junior year, they're like, so like rising seniors, you want to audition, and I'm having to learn like, what is this thing that everyone knows about and everyone talks about. And so I have to like make this decision. And it's like, if you get in, you sign a contract that's like, you will take your senior year off of school. You will not be a student, and you will travel and be a member of this. I think it was a 501c3 at that point. So it's like a company.
Wow.
Yeah. And we make all of the money on our own. We don't get any like special funding. Obviously, like the gigs, they're probably overpaying because they're Yale alums, and we would do weddings. We did funerals. You did
funerals?
Funerals. We sang at old folks' homes. They love that shit. Love it. But like, I remember people were emotional. Like they were gagged. They were like, thank you so, and that was actually really sweet. People would come up to us after and be like, thank you so much. Like this means so much to our family. And I'm like, oh my God. Like I can't, and if you think about it, the Whiffenpoofs, it's a new group every year. Like you only do it for 1 year. So it's like, there's no continuation. It completely turns over every single year.
Right.
But so like you have this experience and you're like, oh my God, like I'm a Whiffenpoof just right now. And this person thinks that I'm the best thing that's ever happened to them.
Yeah.
And it's like a crazy feeling. It carries like a lot more weight than you expect.
Right. You cover other songs, and you guys released at least one album of covers on Spotify. You are credited as an artist, in addition to the Whiffenpoofs, on this cover of Greedy by Ariana Grande. So you can actually listen to it right now.
Yes.
You have a solo on it.
It's on Apple Music. It's on like I think it's probably on YouTube.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Does everyone get their own like solo song to go off of, or were you just like the best?
No, everyone. I certainly was not the best. There was my year of Whiffenpoofs, honestly, no shade to the other classes, but they know this already. We were one of the best in a long time, and I don't know that there's been one that's been as good. Really, like there were some strong powerhouse singers that could also just blend well, and it was well executed. It was really musically gifted people. And so at the end of every year, these days with the Whiffenpoofs, an album gets made. We have a music director, we have a business manager. There's a recording studio at Yale, like on campus, in the basement of one of the residential buildings. And so we would just like go and record and do the whole thing. And yeah, everybody got a solo or like a duo, whatever. People got to like choose their songs.
You sound great on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I listened. It's awesome. That's actually one of my favorite Ariana songs.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I feel like it gets a little bit slept on.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, but there's something like very like not American songbook, but it feels very analog. There's something that's very sort of rock kind of about it, and the roots of the song that make it like so amazing. And whenever I hear it, I never expect it, because the Ariana songs that we always hear are, you know, Into You and
more of like the clubby kind of,
which is nothing wrong with those, but I just love to hear like those other ones as well.
Yes. And Greedy has that like, it's got that sort of like kind of like a little doo-wop-y.
Oh, it's groovy.
And it's groovy. Yeah. It grooves, and it's got like the rhythms are good and the percussion. And even in the beginning, it's all like that vocal layering, like when she screams Greedy at the beginning. And so like we replicated that via acapella. It was like me and my friends just doing
It's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
I want to get into like sort of your fashion influences, and because first of all, your walk that you like, you know, show online is incredible. And I think that most people out there don't really understand like what it takes to have a good model walk. So I'm wondering, like, who are the models that you try to, you know, take inspiration from or possibly even emulate in some way, and why? Like maybe like the top three.
Yeah. Three is going to be hard. Can I do four?
You could do as many as you want.
Okay. So definitely, I think Giselle Bunken would probably, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Fuck me. Yeah. I don't know. I don't fucking know German. Or whatever she is. But Brazilian. What the fuck, Brazil?
Yeah.
What's up with the last name?
I know.
Go figure. Goddamn fucking colonialism gets you every damn time.
She does like I don't know.
Horse walk.
It's a horse walk.
Yes, it's very like the feet are crossing. It's not one in front of the other. It's
clean.
It's clean. And it almost looks like she could fall at any moment and
doesn't.
And just doesn't. And she just keeps pumping. So there's Giselle for that reason. Shalom Harlow.
Yes.
And I think with her, the best thing about her is the attitude and just that sort of sway and the ease and the hip. And when the hip goes forward, the shoulders are back and everything is very balanced. Naomi, obviously, for kind of similar reasons to Shalom, but I think Naomi has a little bit more of like a refined catwalk. Shalom was like giving a little bit more personality, whereas I think Naomi always gave and still gives this level of like regal, it's tight, it's clean, it's polished. And then I think my last would be Natasha Polly. She's a little bit less known.
Yeah.
But I am so obsessed with, there's a few, I think it's Prada runways Versace, I believe. A few Versace runways of her in the 90s. And she just had that kind of horse walk, similar to Giselle, but I think a little bit bitchier almost, and maybe not always as clean, but like real quick, real hard, real fucking punchy. And yeah, those four women, I've just watched them over and over, and watching them is not enough. Like people, I don't know how people think runway walks work, but the only way that I got my runway walk to look anything like those ladies was by watching myself over and over and over again. And every time I would be like, Why is that shoulder lower than that? No, fix that. Why is that? No, the leg's crossing weird. It's not, I'm not, like the knee is, and that was like a process over a year. Like I started posting runway walks like end of 2024, I think.
Yeah, but even before we met, I remember seeing videos of you like going to post myself walking every day until I'm signed by an agency.
That's how it started. And the walk was nothing to write home about. It was the underpinnings and the beginnings of something special, but like it was, I'm so glad that I did that, because even though whatever, it was cringe and people, and I didn't end up really getting signed to a modeling agency, it helped me to get the walk that I have now. And without seeing myself over and over again and critiquing myself and changing and editing, I wouldn't have the walk that I have now. It just like, you have to just do it over. It's like practice really does make perfect. And you just gotta like keep at, because there were so many times I remember where I would look at Natasha Polly, or I would look at, another one is Yasmin Wijnaldum. And she also gives a great horse walk, and I would look and then I would do it and I'm like, this is just not, it's so much more intense. Like I'm thinking about every part of my body. I'm thinking of the way that my foot is turned. I'm thinking of the, like how high I'm bringing my foot forward. Like when there's the foot in the back and I'm stepping forward, like lift that knee up a little bit. Because if you don't lift that knee up, the kick in the front is not going to have power. It's not going to feel stompy. Every little detail is important, I believe, in a runway walk. And that's why, like, these days, no shade, a lot of the models are great. There's some really fabulous girls, but a lot of the walks that you see, it looks like they're going to pick up, Checkers, or at the Myrtle Broadway stop. They're going to Popeyes and
you mean like a burger? Or
yeah. They're going to pick up groceries at the local Key Food. Like they're just kind of whatever, and that's cute. That's cool. I know different designers like different things, but it's like the powerhouses taught me everything that I know, and I think that some of the girls could learn something from that. But
you're a fashion lover, who's a New York, creator, an LGBT creator. Have you found that the community of, this class of creators in New York specifically has been supportive? They've been like very collaborative in this world, because I think a lot of people look at creators, they have their own ideas and assumptions, when they first see a video, which, your attention span goes like that in 1.5 seconds. But it takes a lot of work to make this stuff, and a lot of time and a lot of resources. So for you, what's the experience been like as you've been building this persona?
It's been mostly good. I think that I was in LA for the first half of 2025 when I kind of started taking content seriously. It was harder out there. I think that people in New York are a little bit more collaborative. They're more willing to build each other up. Like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. When I got home from LA, I met this girl, Rachel Tokar. She's a fabulous comedian, and her and I just became content partners. She shoots basically all my stuff, any runway video that you see, any comedy skit or carry walk. And I should comment on really for my own content journey, because I sort of straddle comedy and fashion.
The fashion community just learned how to laugh in the last 20 years. So don't take that personally.
Yeah. And I see that and I'm like, okay. I thought that Joan Rivers taught you bitches something about just giggling a little, you can smile and have fun. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that I think I'm kind of charting my own way, and I try not to get too bogged down by the fact that I don't feel like there's many people doing what I do, because I'm that just means that that's a pocket that I get to fill. So overall it's been good. I won't say that anyone has been mean or nasty or rude. There even been a couple of brands that have reached out to me and have let me wear their clothes. I have a friend who works at Jane Wade, which is a smaller brand. There was some vintage store, I think it's called Desert Vintage, recently reached out to me. They have a bunch of vintage designer pieces. They were you should come film a walk sometime. I'm okay, dope. Fantastic. So I hope for more of that as things grow and blossom and change. I'm excited even to see what the hell my social media turns into, because I think I've only scratched the surface.
I agree. I think so too. And I think you're about to kick the door wide open with, less chunky shoes or whatever you want to call them, or chopped, which I think are great. We end every episode with a cheers. And I know you like Aperol Spritz. So our friends at Spritz Society here have given us some cans. What are we cheersing to today?
Okay, you know what I'm going to cheers to? I'm going to give a little mini story. I'm going to tell the little bit about when I was a kid And my mom, who is currently a like Trumpy, conservative lady, would clock that I was gay, and she would go around to all of my aunts and uncles and my dad when I was like, too little to be able to formulate the words on my own. And she'd be like, just a heads up, my Dylan is gay. And so I'm just preparing everyone for that now. So in that vein, I think that I cheers to the multifacetedness of human beings and the fact that like nothing is ever black or white when it comes to like being a person. This life is so messy and fucked up and incredible and beautiful and completely brutal. And we just like, we do what we can. And I think that like people and relationships are the greatest thing to come in this life. And I'm grateful to have that. I'm grateful to have the family that I have, the friends that I have. And I'm excited to see how that changes throughout my life.
Oh my God, I couldn't have said it better myself. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.